Hi everyone, this is Satyajit. Today we are going to discuss about a new service called S3. Okay, S3 stands for Simple Storage Service. It means S3 is storage services in AWS Cloud. Okay, so there are many types of storage, like we already discussed about EBS means block storage. Okay, and there is something called S3. S3 is a object storage, and another there is a storage called EFS. It's a file level storage. So we need to understand what is the difference between EBS, EFS, and S3. EBS means block storage, like it will be mostly applicable for operating system, right? So you can see like all the EC2 instance, whatever the EC2 instance is present, let's say this one, EC2 instance storage will always a volume at EBS volume. So that is a root volume. So EBS volume is the main fit, best fit for the operating system, right? This is the main operating system. Next is S3. S3 means as a object-based storage, means you can store your object, you can store video, files, and everything, okay, which is very cheap cost, okay. And next, S3 is object storage, means you cannot store your operating system on a S3. It means S3 cannot be a bootable disk or bootable storage devices for a EC2 instance. Apart from that, you can store all the videos, files, and everything on the S3. Okay. And next one is the EFS. EFS means Elastic File System. It means Elastic File System can be attached to multiple EC2 instance at a time, right? It is just like a NFS, network file system. It is EFS. It can be attached at a time to multiple EC2 instance, so that same data can be shared across multiple EC2 instance. Whereas the EBS volume can only be attached to a single instance. And S3, it not, we can mount S3 in a EC2 instance, but S3 also anyone can use that. It is a global, right? And now S3 is elasticity. Elasticity means elastic in nature. It means there is no limit. You can put your data, and once you put your data, the storage size will get increased. Means if you don't store any data, you don't have to pay. If you store 1 GB of data, it is okay. If you store 10 GB, 10 TB, there will be no issues. You can, how much data you will store, you have to pay for that. Same applicable for elastic file system as well, because elastic file system also scalable. How much data you stored, you have to pay for that. Whereas EBS volume, it is not elastic. It is elastic in nature, but we need to do it. But whereas S3 and EFS, they support, we don't have to do anything. EBS, only the specific size, right? If we occupy for 50 GB, let's say we created one storage for 50 GB, if we use or don't use, we have to pay that 50 GB storage file. Suddenly there is a 100 GB of data wants to store in a EBS volume, we cannot store because in less space. So again, we need to do manually increase from 50 to 100 GB, and then we can store the data. And remember, EBS value can only be increased. It cannot be decreased. It means if it is a 50 GB, we can make it into 100 GB, but we cannot bring it back to 50 GB again, because it's EBS volume, we cannot decrease it. That is the main difference between your file storage, object storage, and block storage. Here today we are going to discuss about as a object storage, which is S3. So you can search for S3. You can just go to the service and click on S3 and click on that S3. Okay, once you click on that S3, it will create S3. There is a called bucket. Okay, so if you know Linux we call as a directory, or in Windows we call as a folder. Okay, so let's say I'm creating a folder, and inside the folder I can create another folder, or we can create multiple of files. Same applicable in case of S3. So S3 we called as a bucket. So bucket and folder similar, like what we called in Windows as folder, we can call in S3 as a bucket. So once a bucket is created, inside the bucket, we can create folder structure, and we can create individual files. Just like in the folder, inside the folder, we can create a folder and subfolder, right? And directory. In S3 bucket also, inside the bucket, we can create another folder and some files and everything. We can store it as a S3. Okay. And it is elastic in nature. It means whatever the size is there and how much data you are going to store, you have to pay for that. There is no limit. Now, while we creating a bucket name is universal equal. It means the bucket name which already we have taken or anyone have taken, you cannot create the bucket with same name, and bucket name doesn't contain any uppercase letter. And also we cannot do any wildcard like @ hash. We cannot do it, and normal random characters. Okay. And if you see S3 here, it is all the region blur. It means S3 is a global service. S3 is a global, but the folder or the bucket which we are going to create, that is regional specific. That's the reason if you see some of the bucket is specific in AP South 1 region or something, a region option is there. Okay. So let's go ahead and create a bucket. Once you create a bucket, if I just do my bucket, right, some name, I hope this bucket's name someone have taken already. So it will throw the error. If you see here the region, so anyone can ask you, S3 is a which type of service? Is it a regional, global, or uh, journal? So you can directly answer S3 is a global service. But S3 inside the bucket, right? The bucket are as the regional service, right? So now I given the name as bucket and specify the region and all the default settings I made. So block public access setting to the bucket. It means the S3, the recommendations or the best practices, we should not create a bucket in public. It should not be open to the world. It should be accessible inside the privately, not publicly. So after that, everything when I going to create a bucket, it will throw an error. The name already exists. It means the bucket name someone already taken, so you cannot create it. So what I will do, my bucket testing hyphen new, something I created. Let's see this bucket is created or not. If you create a bucket, so this bucket is random bucket, so bucket got created. If you see refresh, now I have created a bucket. My bucket testing new, it is in Singapore region, and bucket and objects are not public, and it is the date and time of creation. So now my bucket is created. So I created a bucket. Now I need to inside the bucket, I can go and create some file. Okay. So what I will do, I can upload. Once I upload, we can add a folder or add files. Let me add files. I add this a.txt file. Okay. Just open it and upload it. Once I upload, it's saying upload succeeded, right? Or now I can able to see the object. So when that object created, what is the size of the object? We'll discuss about more what is storage classes. Okay, I can able to do that. And if you click on that a.txt, if you click on this a.txt, just 1 minute. Now, if I go inside this object, like inside the bucket and inside this object, and here it is saying who is the owner, it is my account ID. So I am the owner, the region, when modified, what is the object URL. If I click on this object URL, it will say access denied. Why? Because our bucket is not public bucket. That's the reason it's showing access denied. So I can use it on my local system, like from my system or privately, I'm going to access it. That we are going to discuss later. But I'm saying this way we need to put our object. Okay. So now how to do that? Like, so there is something option is there, download. So we can able to download. If I click on download, what will happen? Now this a.txt got download. If I save it, it will get download. So I don't want to do that. It is there. If I click on open here, so what will happen? This will see now newly added, means that file is already there. I cannot get that through your object URL, but if you click on this object open, if you click on open, it will show the content, what is there in the a.txt content. So it will able to list it. Okay. So now that's it, right? I created the bucket. Next is there is something called bucket versioning. Okay. What do you mean by version or version, right? What do you mean by? So there is something called version 1 and version 2. What is the benefit or what is the demerits? Let's say, okay, I will do one thing. I created the bucket, and inside that bucket, let me select the object and I will delete the object. Once you delete, I'm saying, let's say permanently delete. I'll just copy this one, delete and delete object. Now my object got deleted. Okay. So now what's the problem? Let's say I deleted the object accidentally or knowingly, whatever it is, right? I deleted. Now someone come and say, no, I want this data. Now this is a single file. It is okay. Think about it is 100 file, right? Or it's a very big file and very important file. If it is deleted, then it will be a problem for the infrastructure. Is there any way we can restore it? Now we don't have any way to restore. Okay, so to do that, there is a concept called versioning. If you enable the versioning, what will happen? It will unable to delete that. Okay, we'll verify how to enable versioning. What we'll do, select that bucket, we can go for the properties, and here bucket versioning, we have to edit it and we have to enable it. Once it is there enable, we can save changes. It means the bucket versioning can be enabled, it cannot be delete disable, it can only be suspend means we can only stop it. Okay, we cannot disable permanently. Okay, and once you enable, now my version got and versioning got enabled. If you see bucket version enabled. Now let's see, let's upload the same object. I upload, add files, a.txt, and open it, and I uploaded it. Once I upload the object, right? So now let's see, let us delete it. Okay, if I go ahead and here delete it, delete object. So now my object got deleted. Okay, so what will happen now? Customer, anyone will ask and tell me, okay, no, I want my back, I want my file back, so let me give the file or give me the file back. So how to do that? If you see, there is something called show versions. Click on this show versions. If you see, there is a delete marker will be there, something delete marker. If you click on this and delete the delete marker, if you do the delete of this delete marker, what will happen? It will create an object by default. Now if I delete the object and my delete marker got deleted, now if I close it, if you see, my object come back. Okay, if you go to the bucket and go to the respective bucket and my object came back, it is because of the versioning. Okay, what does mean that versioning is enabled? So if accidentally or unknowingly someone deleted, you can just go there and show the versions, and there you can restore it back. How to restore it? It will create a delete marker. So we need to delete the delete marker, then only the object will be restored. Okay, so that is the beauty of the versioning. And what are the more other benefits of the versioning? So other benefits is, let's say this a.txt is some content, right? If you open, it's saying newly added, some content is there. Now this file I will modify it. Okay, so what I will do, I will just go to my file, go to my desktop, a.txt, and here newly added something more added, something I'm writing, something more file added recently, something I'm writing, and I'll do Control S to save it. Okay, now my file got saved. Okay, now what I will do, I will upload it again. Okay, I can go and upload, add files, a.txt, open, and again upload it. So what will happen? It will upload the object again. So what will do, if I click on same file, it uploaded again. It means if I click on this a.txt, open it, now the new one will show something more file added recently. Okay, so now someone, so let's say this is some error I did, some mistake. So one customer come back, no, 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 I want my back file, don't do this one, I want my back file, can you restore it? Okay, so same thing, it will be applicable for the version. So what you will do, you can select for the versions. Now if you see the date, okay, and the latest one, this is the latest one. So what I will do, if I click on this and open it, this is the old one. Okay, so once again I will show, you select the version, and if you click on this one, this is your old one. Okay, once again I will show you. Okay, my bucket. Now click on, this is the current version. So there is something called current version and non-current version. Current version means which is the actual one. If you click on this and open it, it says something more. This is the current versions. Okay, but now we want my back file. So what we will do, you can just go to the versions, okay, and just select it and open it. That's it. Okay, so now this is the new one file, right? So what we will do, we can just select this one. Okay, it is saying versions. So now something is called, this is your old sorry, 1 minute, version. Okay, so now 13b. 13b means this is my old versions. If you select one and open it, it's a newly added 13-bit. So this is my old file. So now I can able to do that. And if you select this one, this is 34-byte. This is my new one. If you click on that and open it, something more file added. So I have two versions ready. So I can do that anytime, right? So there will be not an issues. Okay. So like this way, if you show for the versions, now two version is showing. If I do another one, let's say I will do another one again, I.txt, something more file recently, and old file modified. Let's say I'm adding old file modified, and I will save it. Now file got saved. Again, I will upload it. What means I will go to the object bucket and upload, add file a.txt, open it, and again upload it. So now the same file I modified. Now someone asked me, give me the before modified file. So at how I will do, if I will go to, I just close it and I will select, go to this object and go to the versions. Now three file will say. Now first one is the current, 13b is the older one, 34 will the new one. Now if you click on this one and select open, now this is my previous file. Okay. Now if I go to the back one, okay, and select the object and go for the version. Now if I go for the lower one, this is your the first file added. So like this way we can able to do. So versioning will be very helpful. It means we can create multiple versions, and using the help of versioning we can restore the file back. Okay. And if the file is got deleted also, we can restore it back. That will be very helpful for the versioning. Okay. So in this videos we discuss about how to create an S3 bucket, and S3 is a global service, but bucket is a regional service. After that, we understood about bucket name should be globally unique, and there will be no capital letter, and there will be no exclamatory or any wildcat characters. It will be present. And once the bucket is created, inside the bucket we can create our add our files or add the folder. It means bucket is just like a folder. Inside the bucket we can create folder or we can create object. Okay, just like in Windows we have a folder. Inside the folder we can create subfolder and any files, everything, right? So same thing, it will be applicable in case of bucket. And once the bucket is created, we have to put our object. If the object is there, anyone can delete it, we cannot do anything. So for that reason we need to enable the versioning. Once the versioning is enabled, it cannot be disabled, it can only be suspended, right? So now if I suspend the versioning, if I modified some file, right, it will not be saved, right? We cannot restore it back or something, right? So whatever the versioning is enabled, it will do that work for that moment of time or that data. New data, it cannot be done, right? So now we understood everything versioning. If the file got deleted, we need to show versions and we need to delete the delete marker. Once it is deleted, then we can restore it back the file. Okay, in this video that's it. And please practice more, and if you have any questions, put me in the comments, I will help you out. Next videos we'll discuss about what is called cross-region replications or something. We'll discuss more. Thank you for watching my videos.